Alright, so this is one number 7 against SGA-1. So for this war, my team is Omega Sentinel, Shuri, and Red Max. We're gonna start with path number 6. In section 1, take this Dani, both the center mini bosses, and then path number 1. Then Attuma, Kingpin, and Korg on the boss island. So this was a very fun war. I nearly died on that Zemo fight, so we're gonna get to that in a bit. So first fight was Professor X. Nothing special. It was just aggression prowess. So I'm gonna use Omega Sentinel for like with the tracking pre-fight. So here the plan is just hit him, like do 5 hit combos, and probably not even use a special, or never let him do a special. So once we put the track in with that medium ending combo, I'm just gonna keep pausing my debuffs. So it's a very simple fight. We go with special 2, I guess, yeah. So and the fight was done. So it was like a 25-second fight. And next up we have a Dani Moonstar. So for this fight, I was going to use a invulnerability boost just to be safe. We are not using a white max pre-fight here, so I have to be careful about the debuff immunity, and I have to bait his specials after I knock her down. And I'm just gonna bait SP once. So against her, there's only one thing you need to keep in mind, which is once you do a 10 hits, once you have like 10 hits on your combo, you need to knock it down so that that illusion thing is removed, this blue icon. So because if it's over there, she gets a new charge if you try to do a blocked hit, and it's gonna miss. So sometimes, like if you do like over here, she could have, like if she had a special one ready, she could have like thrown it and probably like did a lot of massive damage to me, but nothing happened of that sort. So we're just gonna like bait out SP ones, and somewhere here I tried to do a parry, but uh, since it was debuff immunity, I just auto blocked all like the damage which I was about to take, and over here we lose our invulnerability boost. So luckily she just did like 3 hits, so that was all fine. And normally, like if I'm dexing a special one, I always prefer to go to my corner so that it's easy to dex that arrow in the end. And there's nothing special in this fight. It's just if you have a white max pre-fight, it's even more easier. And slowly but surely she's going down, and I'm just keeping an eye on that illusion thing so that like whenever I see it, I always try and knock her down either with a special or with a heavy. And here the fight was nearly over, so I thought like maybe the SP1 might kill her, but it did not kill her. So we just played it safer and baited a heavy and did 1 hit, and she was down. So this next fight was Red Max on Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Shock. So it's Shuri time, and I've taken this fight in this season, so I know what to do. So here I'm running Max Pacify and Petrify so that like gets like less amount of damage, less amount of power bar whenever I hit him during this stun. So initially I'm gonna build up my armors in the incinerate phase, and then once I reach that shock phase, I'm gonna try and like just refresh all my shocks, and this way I'm gonna ramp Shuri up slowly, and that's about it. Or just do like parry or 1 hit during the incinerate phase so that with the armor up you can remove the prowess. And with max iniquity, once you have like enough shock debuffs, uh, you don't take much damage from that incinerate. So that's also one cool thing about masteries, change of masteries. So over here, once he has like enough critical shock, so I'm gonna use a special 2 so that I get more shock debuffs. This way Inequity would like kind of minimize his block damage, or like if I take some hits on my block, like whenever he throws that special. So the fight went well. We didn't lose a lot of health, but in this next fight, I don't know, like everything went wrong. The AI was like very weird in this fight. So we're gonna take it with red max here. The plan is just parry heavy and get to a special 3, and that's it. And the fight is done with that. So over here we start well, but over here somewhere like my dex didn't work over there, and next I guess the AI was so bad, like he was doing double mediums on my block, and here I kind of like missed a parry, or I don't know, I dropped my block over there. So, and over here I miss a miss a heavy counter with that thing, and at a very wrong time I got rooted. So it was just a very funny experience. Like I was like, what's happening in this fight? So we kind of like maintain our cool, and once I get enough prowesses, I reach to special 3, and I'm just gonna use it. It's not gonna kill him, but at least bring him to like 50% health, I believe. Yeah, 54. So now like my main source of damage is these leads I have, and I thought the SP2 might kill him, but it did not, and he was nearly at 3 bars of power, but luckily like we didn't push him to 3 bars. So it was a fairly sketchy fight, but we still made it out alive, so that's what matters in the end. So next fight was Domino on Buffet. It's a straightforward Omega Sentinel fight. I was using a Power Start 1 from, I think I did use a Power Start 1 for this fight, or maybe it was from the previous fight. So over here I just have to be worried about like, or I just have to be cautious about her evade during the lucky. So that's the only thing I have to be like keeping in mind while fighting her. So we just use the SP2 cycle. We use SP2s with like the max amount of debuffs we can put, and then we're just gonna pause the damage over time so that it keeps on taking her down. And like over here I shouldn't have thrown that SP2, but luckily like she was below 5% health or something, so it worked out well. So coming up is a Kindred on I think it's rejuvenating unblockable, rejuvenated unblockable. So, and also never back down. So whenever you dash back twice, he gains a regen passive. So over here I thought this fight would have been a very easy fight, but there was like one mistake which I did in the end, which I thought I shouldn't have done it, but like it just happened. So over here we're gonna use Fury, build up our shocks, and try to bait out SP1s and or maybe SP2s. So whenever he gains that stun immunity, you just have to be careful like not to double dex. So over here we did a double dex so that like we can maintain some space, and we paused his infestations over there. So I'm also running a regen boost just to top myself with some health. And over here his AI is quite cooperative. Once he does like one block hit, he's going with the heavy, so that gives us more openings and makes us control the fight even better, and also the space. So over here we hit him after his SP1, we pause the infestations again, and he's nearly down at 23% or something, and that's when I make this mistake of using a special 1. If I had kept my special 1 over here, I would have like gotten out of this route right then and there, and also we got an unblockable. So luckily like there was not much mistakes we did initially during the fight, so a bit of health loss, but I think it's fine. And I feel it was my last Fury fight, so it was all good. So this next fight is a future Antman on Buffet. It's a fairly simple red max fight. I'm running max pacify, so I just wait out for that magnetize, and then I'm just gonna start doing parry heavies or just hit during the stun and get to my special 3, and in between bait out SP once and try not to dex because it's gonna trigger buffet. It has a chance. It's not 100% chance that you like completely remove his ability accuracy, but there's still a chance. So I'm just building up my prowesses and also just getting to my SP3. So once we reach the special 3, the fight is over. So we just use it, and he's gonna go down completely. And yeah, there's nothing much special about this fight. I've taken this fight a lot of times now, so it was quite easy. So this next fight was the fight I was worried about because I think the bans we had were Omega Red also, if I'm not wrong, or I couldn't assign a Omega Red for this fight. So we decided to go with Omega Sentinel with the White Max pre-fight. So over here the plan was to use the heal block and just do basic hits and just like bring him down. That was like the only plan for this fight. And for my last 3 fights are like my Omega Sentinel fights, so I will be running suicides. So with suicides I guess bringing him down is gonna be way much easier and faster, and without before we make like any mistakes. So here I'm just gonna keep the heal block up, and then I'm just gonna pause my debuffs so that like the heal block doesn't fall off. And Omega Sentinels mediums are energy hits, so it's also gonna counter everything from the node. And we did take a lot of thorns damage, but in the end what matters is the solo which we got. So next fight was a Kingpin on feat of vigilance, and I think it's power efficiency. So for this fight again we're gonna use Omega Sentinel, and here the plan is just to not throw a special at all and get to your special 3. Once you get to your special 3, he won't gain any more vigilance buffs, so that way like you don't have to worry about throwing a heavy after its expiry. And I guess the only thing you have to worry about in this fight is in case he throws a heavy attack, he gets an unstoppable debuff or unstoppable buff. So just make sure to throw a heavy before the timer expires on you, the fault timer. And once his overpower expires, so again you have to throw a heavy. So make sure like you're not pushing him to a special 2 with that heavy attack. So always try to bait out SP once as much as you can. So since we also running suicides, it's gonna be fairly simple, and just for the sake of it I actually use the tracking pre-fight just in case I get the folder on me, and if the tracking debuff is on him, like it's gonna save me, or like at least save some time. So like over here you have to just maintain your space in such a way that you can counter his SP1 with a heavy like this, and rest I guess the fight is quite simple. You don't have to do anything special in this fight, just bait out SP1s, and in case like you get cornered, just don't panic, and it should be a very easy solo for you. So he's down to 30% or something, And I guess that's when he starts becoming a bit more weird, and he stops throwing SP1s at one point. So I was a bit worried at this point, like, will I have to like push him to a special 2? But luckily again he started throwing those SP1s, which made me finish the fight a bit faster. And over here I kind of like, I was a bit scared because he did a shallow dicks, but luckily he just blocked and he didn't retaliate with a hit, so that was all good. And over here, I guess we did push him to a special 2, but the power burn actually pushed him back to a special 1. So sometimes, like, you might have to like let that falter expire on you because of the situations in this fight. But other than that, I think it's a very straightforward fight. So coming up, we have a last fight, which was a Korg on Conflictor and Combat Deja Vu Prowess. So for this fight, again, we're using Omega Sentinel with the White Max pre-fight, and here the plan is just to do medium, like a 5-hit combo with light endings, so light attack endings. So just because like I have like a bad muscle memory that I start with a medium hit, so that's what we did in this fight. Even though you don't have to do it, like whenever he gets that rock shield, just do light attacks and just keep his rock shields out. Like you can remove those rock shield charges. So here in this fight, I did like something different. Probably like I wouldn't suggest doing this, but when he's less like at less than 1.5 bars of power or something, you can uh, try to like start that conflictor node by doing the medium ending combo, and then you can basically just use a special 2 to apply your incinerate debuff, and that's what we do in this fight again and again. So once you put that incinerate debuff, you can just uh, pause your debuff, and this way like you can deal some more additional damage and try to finish the fight faster. It's not needed, but like in case you want to do that, I think you can do that. And also like you don't have to throw special 2s. You could also just get to a special 3 and use your conflict, like trigger that conflictor, and then you can just play it that way too. So this was it from me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.